So we are back with this Yamaha YFZ450. As you seen in the previous video, I did get this thing to crank up and start. When I first got it, the battery was completely dead, so I recharged it. Put a new battery connection for the battery cable. I believe it's a positive. Yeah, I got a new positive connection on the battery here. Battery was charged up. We did crank it over, it did start. But cosmetically, this thing needs a seat cover. It had like a blue gas tank cover, which I ended up replacing that with a white one that I already had. And this one does have the brand new tires. Does have the big gun exhaust. It's got the open air box. Got the Canyon style filter. It ran pretty good whenever it did start. So the only problem that we had with this quad, in order for it to run in a good manner, is this water pump seal was leaking pretty bad. So you can see it all over the skid plate. It's all wet. And this hose down here was dripping all over the place. And there's pretty much no coolant in the radiator. We found that it was low. Once we topped it off, cranked it and started the motor, we noticed that it was dripping. So there is a seal back behind this cover here. Back behind here, you can undo the bolts and then take the impeller off, and there should be a seal right behind it. Usually that leaks, or usually when that seal's gone, there's a little weep hole underneath it where the hose is connected to, and that's just an indicator that when that does leak, that seal is going bad. And if it's bad enough, and if you keep running it like that, there's another seal behind that first seal, which then that's where the oil is. So once that second seal goes bad, the coolant can, mix into the oil, cause milky oil, and then you don't want to have that because that'll mess up the whole motor, and you got to do a whole entire rebuild if it locks up or whichever it does. But so today I got the seal. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I also got the seat cover as well. First, let me get to this water pump seal, and then we can do the seat cover next. With this cover here, you do have a drain bolt here where you can drain your coolant first. I thought it'd be all drained out by now, but let me get a catch bucket. All right, so here is the drain bolt, like I said. Should puke out some coolant here. Yeah, wasn't much, so. We got that bolt. And then we got here. Got one more on top. Comes right out. Took that out of the way. Here's your impeller. At this time you can see if it cranks with your motor, which it does. If that's not turning when your motor's cranking over, then you need a new water pump. That gear in the back is not catching the other gears and it's not turning it, so it's got to be something behind this whole case side here. But you can just unbolt it with it being still on the four-wheeler, and you can get the new water pump in there. But you can stick a socket on this impeller, that'll come right off. Got a washer. Here's the seal. So apparently it is leaking past that. So we're gonna get that seal out. Okay, so what you can do is, with the seal, you can stick a few self-tappers in there. Okay, so of course I had the camera off because it was giving me a lot of trouble, but to get this seal out, the best thing to do is get a self-tapper, self-tap it into the seal there, and get a pair of pliers and just yank it off. As you can see, it pulled it right out. I just barely went through it. You know, you don't want to go too far. You don't want to drill too far in there because you'll end up touching the other seal on the other side, and then that'll be bad too. Can't really tell where the seal went bad, but I mean, it was leaking, so we're gonna replace it. I got a OEM one from Yamaha. You know, with seals and stuff, I like to go OEM. Just so I know for sure it shouldn't leak. It's already got grease inside there. But how you want to put it in is just like this. You want that little open side facing out and the flat side facing inwards. So that's how it's going to be installed. So what I do is get a socket that's just barely a bit smaller than it, and just want to hit it in pretty evenly. We got the seal on. It should be good now. Go ahead and put the impeller back on. Don't forget you got the washer first, then the impeller. Just hit it a couple times. Make sure it still spins. Looks good. All right, let's get the cover back on here. Hopefully that hopefully that O-ring for that cover there is still good. All the bolts are in. Let's go ahead and add some coolant and then see what happens here. All right, so I got the pump here. Let's go ahead and start pumping some in. So far I don't see no leaking. Let's get the quad cranked over, get it running for a little bit, and let's see if it leaks through the water pump seal. Okay, as of right now, it is not leaking out of that hose right there. Neither the cover, so that is a good sign. Air is still coming up from the radiator, so it's still leaking up there. Still got it plugged up to the little pump here, but that seal pretty much will solve the issue with it leaking out of there. So that's good as of now. But before I run it even longer, let's check the oil one more time. Yeah, so it is low on the dipstick there. Let's crank it over for a little bit longer. See if we can get it warmed up some more. Okay, so the coolant's pretty warm, and you can see that's not leaking. The coolant. And we're still a little bit low here on dipstick. We're on E, which means empty. So I'm just gonna throw in about a quarter of a quart, half quart, see where we're at. We are right on the full mark. Oil is looking good. So oil's good. Coolant is no longer leaking. You know, we topped off the coolant pretty much. What is next is a new seat cover, and then go ahead and wash this down, and probably have to get the magic eraser out to get some of the hard stains that don't want to come out. But magic erasers do work. But let's get this seat cover taken off and get this new one on. Here is the seat. It does have the rips in it. Pretty easy to take this off. It's got a bunch of staples here on the back. What you want to do is just get a flathead screwdriver and just one by one just pry out all these little staples all the way around, and then the cover will come off. And then with the new cover, I've got this pneumatic staple gun just off of Amazon. Works pretty good. Hook it up to your air compressor. It's got enough pressure to where it shoots into the plastic on the seat there. So this is the seat cover. I just put this thing on. So you can see it's all pretty tight. Got it all stapled up. Looks really good. So, easiest way to do it is just get a pneumatic staple gun with the air compressor. First, you just want to tuck this front piece into the bill, stretch it back, or stretch it back to where there's no space up here, to where that seam is pretty even, or even past the duckbill. But staple that up there, kind of stretch it back, tuck it down, staple it back in here. And after you got the top and bottom stapled up, if you want to do the sides, just kind of stretch the side out, pull it underneath it, staple that. Same with this side, and then work your way around with the excess, and then it should turn out pretty good. You know, you shouldn't get no wrinkles in it if you do it that way. That's the best way that I see that seems to work. So go ahead and get this seat on. As you can see, looks pretty good. A whole lot better than the other one. You know, there was a lot of cracks in it, as you've seen before. So next one I want to do is just power wash it up and get the magic eraser out and magic erase the wheels, the plastics. Get these I don't know what that is, but it's pretty hard on there. But the magic eraser should take care of it. You know, you can magic erase this whole quad and then it'll turn out pretty good. I got a few magic erasers. These work really well on the plastics, as well as pretty much the whole quad. You can wash the wheels, wash the frame, air guards, whatever. They'll clean it up pretty well.